We take a closer look now at the growing pushback against Alex Jones with Larissa Lidsky. She's the dean of the University of Missouri School of Law and has been following these moves and other legal actions against Alex Jones. Dean Lidsky, thank you very much for being here. All of these social media platforms are taking Alex Jones off their sites, and they're arguing that he violates their hate speech rules. I wonder what your reaction to that is.
There are two things really that need to be understood. One is the First Amendment only protects citizens against restrictions on their speech by the government and government actors. And platforms like Facebook or Google are not government actors. So the First Amendment simply does not speak to their conduct. The other thing that people sometimes misunderstand is that hate speech itself is not a legal category, although it may overlap with things like true threats or defamation that are legal categories. And so the government cannot broadly restrict anything that it might label hate speech, but platforms can if they wish to.
Twitter CEO, as we saw, Jack Dorsey, the CEO of the company, said he's taking the opposite approach. They're not banning Alex Jones. He wrote, "We didn't suspend Alex Jones or InfoWars yesterday. We know that's hard for many, but the reason is simple. He hasn't violated our rules. We'll enforce if he does." And as you're saying, that is absolutely within Twitter's right.
It is absolutely within Twitter's rights, and it's also within user rights to put pressure on Twitter for that. But Jack Dorsey this morning in a tweet said that what he expects to happen is for journalists and others to counteract Alex Jones' falsehood with true factual information and to drown out his hateful and distorted speech with the true factual information that they find.
So when Alex Jones and his supporters argue that this is just outright censorship, you say they may feel that they're being censored, but there really is no standing that he has to argue legally that he's being censored.
Yes, censorship is a legal term for when the government restricts your speech, and he's not being censored. There's a lot of people calling for the platforms to take him down, but that doesn't count as legal censorship.
What do you make of the slippery slope argument that some people have been arguing that, yes, these social media sites have become such important arbiters and dispensers of news and information in our world, but once they start picking and choosing, that is a problematic move for society?
Well, it's complicated. I am an ardent defender of free speech. And I am concerned about the ability of Facebook, for example, to pick and choose what speech is on its network. But I'm not concerned when they make a reasoned determination, as they have to, that the kind of fabricated lies that are causing harm to individuals need to be taken down from their site. I don't think Alex Jones is a hard case, per se, but I would hope for free expression purposes that platforms would go case by case.
Alex Jones is also facing some challenges in the legal realm. He's being sued for libel and defamation. One, as we mentioned before, about the parents of some of the children who were killed at Sandy Hook, and another by a man who filmed the video of the car hitting the counter-protester at the Charlottesville white supremacist rally last year. What do those individuals need to prove in order to win their case in court?
Okay, so in order to win, they need to prove that Alex Jones made a defamatory statement, which is a statement that would tend to harm reputation. In both cases, he claimed that they were crisis actors who, in one instance, invented the death of their children, and in the other instance, he claims that the person who filmed the car driving into the protester in Charlottesville had himself been part of, the incident, had been somewhat responsible for her death and had fabricated it. So those are clearly statements that tend to harm reputation, identifying these people that are published to an audience of millions. And then after that, there's a question. There is a novel legal question as to what the plaintiffs must prove in addition. And that question hinges on whether the parents of the murdered children are called public figures or they're private figures, and whether the eyewitness who filmed the Charlottesville killing was a public figure or a private figure. We have more leeway to criticize people who have thrust themselves into the forefront of public controversies, celebrities, and our government officials, our public officials. We have less leeway with regard to people who are just living their lives, private individuals. Let me add that even if the parents and Mr. Gilmore are determined to be public figures, they are likely to win lawsuits against Mr. Jones because he fabricated lies that tarnished their reputations and caused them tangible harm.
Well, those are certainly cases we're going to be following quite closely. Larissa Lidsky, Dean of the University of Missouri School of Law, thank you very much.
Thank you.